thoughts in this regard. Thanks to both the speakers that you have shared a part of your precious time with us in our moment of celebration and pride. I am very confident that the decade-long experience in the academic field and deep understanding of the present scenario will greatly benefit our students of different sphere during their course of academic journey. I would also like to welcome all the participants who are watching this webinar through the live streaming in our YouTube channel. So before starting today's session, let me have the privilege to say a few words about Tripura Institute of Paramedical Sciences. It's a joint venture institute with the Department of Health and Family Welfare, Government of Tripura, and is affiliated to Tripura Central University and was established in August 24, 2009 in Hapania, Agartala. Since last 13 years, our institute has been successful in being one of the premium institute in Northeastern India, coordinating professional learning experiences and training for students in paramedical and nursing sciences, thus crafting and shaping skilled paramedical and nursing workforce to serve the healthcare sector across the country and abroad as well. We are proud to acknowledge that our passed out students serving as a frontline worker in different government and private hospitals all over India and abroad during this time of COVID pandemic. TIPS basically offers 7-degree paramedical courses in the field of hospital management, physiotherapy, radiotherapy, radiology, optometry, lab technology, and OT technology, and also offer 3 nursing courses, MSc and BSc nursing and A&M. Till date, approximately 2,000 paramedical and nursing staff has been passed out from TIPS and working in different renowned government and corporate healthcare sector in India and abroad. Many of those have also completed their higher studies for better professional proficiency and also serving as faculties in different academic institutes. We are associated with more than 150 corporate hospitals in India and abroad, and many of our passed out students are working with famed brands, names in healthcare sector pan-India and abroad. So now starting with the session, I would like to welcome our patron, both our respected principal madam from paramedical and nursing section in today's webinar. So first of all, we have our principal from paramedical section, Professor Dr. Chanda Banerjee, Principal TIPS. So before handing over the mic to her, I'll just have a short CV of Madam. So regarding Madam is a Master of Surgery and done her Master of Plastic Surgery from Calcutta University. She has a retired professor and head of the Department of Plastic Surgery, SSKM Hospital, Calcutta. She is a proud member of many prestigious organizations and associations and has contributed many referred international publications in the field of work. So I would like to hand over the mic to our principal madam from paramedical section, Dr. Chanda Banerjee, to kindly share her thoughts regarding today's webinar. Madam.
Thank you. Good afternoon to you all. I convey my warm greetings to Dr. Deepak Sharma, Registrar of Tripura Central University, and to Dr. Santanu Ghosh, Associate Professor of Psychiatry in TNC and BRAM Teaching Hospital, and other dignitaries present here to celebrate the webinar on the auspicious occasion of 13th Foundation Day of TRIPS. I convey my greetings to the last but not the least to all my beloved students and staff of the Institute of Paramedical Sciences. Due to the pandemic situation all over the world, we are forced to make online arrangements to celebrate this August occasion. Topic of the webinar is opportunities and challenges of online learning platform for higher studies. 7 different paramedical streams are taught in TIPS besides nursing A&M and BSc nursing courses. At present, we are trying to open 2 other streams, but due to this pandemic situation, we are forced to restrict our activities. In the last convocation of Tripura University, 40 students from our college have won gold medals in different subjects. This is a matter of great joy to the students and staff of this institution. We are grateful to the dignitaries, colleagues, and students who have traveled so far to share this day with us. Our ability to provide a skilled, trained, and committed workforce grounded by strong foundation in paramedical sciences is a tremendous asset. Due to this pandemic situation, we are forced to take the help of online platform, and let us use media also in normal time, which will allow us to spend time more economically. UGC is thinking of using this online platform even after pandemic situation is over. In this webinar, our learned guests, participants will further advise us about the advantages and disadvantages of online platform for higher studies. This pandemic has shown us the new path of online studies, and we should try to take the advantage out of it. After all, skilled workforce is our ultimate aim. Then this college will become a part of larger tapestry, a vibrant and active job corridor. In this connection, I have to inform you that Principal of Nursing Section, Mrs. Sharma Sengupta, is sick and will not be able to join this webinar. And in her place, Mrs. Usharani Devi, Professor of Nursing, will take part in this webinar and deliver a speech. Thank you all again for coming to this webinar and enlighten us by your new thoughts. Thank you again.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for your deliberation regarding today's webinar. So, as we all being informed, our next patron is Principal Nursing Section, Professor Sharma Sengupta, but due to sudden urgency in her health, she cannot able to join us today. So, on her behalf, we have Usharani Devi, Professor from our College of Nursing. She has done her MSc in Nursing, Obstetrics and Gynecology. So, on behalf of Sharma Sengupta, Madam, Principal Nursing, she will convey her message for this webinar. So, I'd like to ask Usharani Madam to kindly present deliberation and message of Professor Sharma Sengupta. Madam. Madam, I think your mic is off. Usharani Madam, I think your mic is off. Kindly on your mic.
Is it audible, sir?
Yeah, it's now.
Sir?
Right now it's audible. Okay, ma'am, go ahead. Yeah, it's audible right now, ma'am. Go ahead.
So, good afternoon, Honorable Registrar, sir, of Tripura Central University, respected Principal, ma'am, Paramedical, respected Secretary, sir, CEO, sir, of Dept, respected dignitaries, my colleague, and my dear students. Today we are observing our 13th Foundation Day. So Tripura Institute of Paramedical Sciences started its journey on this date in the year of 2009. It is now having one master's course in nursing science, 8 degree courses in paramedical and nursing sciences, and 1 diploma course in nursing science. So over the year, students go to hospital, different primary health centers, and different training institutes for the practical class purpose. They also attend their in-house theory and practical classes in our campus. But during this pandemic situation created due to COVID-19, we face restricted movement at different phases in different waves of spreading the infection. Students could not join their regular theory and practical classes in the appropriate venue in an appropriate manner. We all needed to continue the classes and to conduct even the examination as well through online mode. So keeping this constraint in mind, students have faced and is facing loads of challenges in continuing the classes through online mode. So on this auspicious day, we are organizing a webinar that is entitled as Opportunity and Challenges of Online Learning Platform for Higher Studies. So I welcome our guest speakers of today's webinar, Dr. Deepak Sharma, Honorable Registrar, Sir, Tripura Central University, and Dr. Santanu Ghosh, Associate Professor, Department of Psychiatry, Tripura Medical College and Dr. BRAM Teaching Hospital, to discuss the constraints the students are facing and how these challenges the students may overcome. Because we all know that the online classes is going to be a part of our regular curriculum of syllabus according to the UGC. So we are very much thankful to both of our guest speakers for being with us in spite of their busy schedule. So thank you, sir, for being with us, that you have spared your valuable time. And I hope our students will definitely be enriched and benefited with your lectures. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for your kind message. And definitely we're going to miss Shampa madam as well. So she's urgently, she became sick. And definitely I also like to thank madam as well, Shampa madam and you both, to convey the message regarding today's webinar. Thank you, madam. So coming to the main portion of our webinar session. So first of all, I would like to invite our first speaker, Dr. Deepak Sharma, Honorable Registrar, Tripura Central University. So before handing over the mic to sir, I will just share a brief introduction regarding Dr. Deepak Sharma. So sir is a gold medalist alumni of prestigious Hindu College, Delhi, has been a faculty in Department of Political Science, Sri Guru Nanak Dev Khalsa College, University of Delhi for last 28 years. He has contributed a number of research papers in edited volumes, besides authoring a book on administrative thoughts of Herbert Simon. He has done extensive research in the field of public administration. To his credit, go two major research projects, namely promoting good governance through information technology, a study of Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Delhi, and motivation and performance in administration, a study of Delhi Metro Rail Corporation, sponsored and financed by University Grant Commission, New Delhi. He has participated in a number of conferences held in Canada, Hong Kong, and parts of India. He has been a resource person on issues related to quality assurance and accreditation in HEIS. So I'd like to welcome you, sir. And right now I'm just handing over the mic to sir to kindly share regarding the thoughts of today's topic, what we have decided this time for our webinar. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's really a matter of great pleasure that I am with you on this auspicious day of the foundation of your Tripura Institute of Paramedical Sciences. At the outset, let me make an important confession that I am new to Tripura, and I joined Tripura University just a couple of months ago. So, and I thank Professor Chanda Banerjee and Professor Sen Gupta for inviting me on this important day of any institution, because Foundation Day is definitely an important part of one's beginning. Dr. Swarup Datta, coordinator of today's program, Dr. Santanu Ghosh, who is the another esteemed speaker this afternoon, and Professor Tanima, who is really instrumental in helping, in facilitating me to connect with this August gathering. thanks to her. She is definitely a meticulous organizer, and what I have observed that she organizes events, with a personal touch and with the kind of personal interest she follows up. It definitely it's creditable. Today's topic is very, very significant, relevant, and topical also. Though we are discussing this topic against the background of lockdown or COVID, as Chanda ma'am has just pointed out, that UGC has directed us to continue with online classes even after the, even after the resumption of face-to-face classes. Yes. And the question is, why has the issue of digital learning or online classes have become, so important? Firstly, as we see in the national education policy, there are 2-3 points that I would like to highlight here before we actually move on to understand the issue of online classes. Firstly, that our GER, gross enrollment ratio, is very low. Low as compared to countries like, even China, which has an enrollment ratio of 50%. Ours is just in between 25 to 26%. So we need to improve. We need to improve our gross enrollment ratio, number one. Number two, there is a special provision in the new education policy. That is the multi-point entry and exit option. The student can enter a degree and the student can make any number of exits. Student can enter an institution and student can exit an institution. And related to this is a novel concept of new education policy, ABC, Academic Credit Banks. So for that, just a face-to-face classes, the lecture method, the traditional learning won't help us to meet the challenges of 21st century. To meet the challenges of education 4.0, number one, and also to meet the challenges of a learners, because as we would discuss, that the expectations from a learner and expectations from an education are going to transform in this wake of new education, as it is called education 4.0. Education 4.0 means that we are in the fourth stage of industrial development. We started with the first stage, that was just a transformation from an agrarian society to an industrial society. In the second phase, our hands were replaced by machines, by the heavy machines, and we started using machines in place of our hands. In the third phase, our brains were replaced by what is called the computers, by automation, information technology. And in the fourth phase, we are not going to use the technology, my dear friends. Technology is going to use us. The greatest challenge of today's higher education system is that a degree becomes redundant. Degree loses its current, the significance or the relevance even before a student earns it. the workplace is changing so fast. You have because I would like to give an example from medical science, because it is an institute that deals with that just an MS in surgery won't help us to survive in the professional field, because now surgery is going to be performed by robots. Robotic surgery has become the. So we have to train our students for that. We have to prepare our workforce for that, so that they can compete, they can meet the challenges at not only the national level, but also at the international level. Now, with these preliminary remarks, I would like to first interact with some of the participants, and I would like them to ask a couple of questions, and I would request them to write in the chat box, because it's very difficult to speak in this kind of settings. Do you really enjoy online classes? Yes or no? Quickly. Do you enjoy online classes? Yes or no? No. Oh, yes, no.
No, sir.
Mixed feeling. Okay. Right. No, not really. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Let me ask you, how did you learn to make tea? How did you learn to make tea? Everybody's saying no, sir. No. Okay. Do you know? From my mother. Alva Devarma said, from my mother. Okay, very nice answer. By seeing my mother making the same, very nice. Please, from my mother, very nice. Parents. So we learn by imitation. Number one. Related to this question, my next question is, do you make the tea or any other recipe that you have learned from your parents or your mother exactly the same way as is prepared by them?
No, sir.
No, sir. Very nice. That means we learn by imitation and we also improvise. Number one. Number two, have you learned any skill during last 1.5 years or so during the lockdown? You are inside home and no classes. Have you learned any new skill? Yes. Can you name some? Have you learned? Yes. Most of them have learned. Can you name some skill that you have learned? Have you learned how to make digital marketing? Very nice. Learning a new language. Craft. Okay. Knitting. Very nice. Dance. Cooking. Handcraft. Very nice. Drawing. Cooking. Very nice. New languages, computer knowledge, cooking, hacking. Very nice answers coming up. How did you learn them? Society was closed. How did you learn them? How did you learn these skills? How did you learn that skills? YouTube. Very nice. Online platform. Online. Now let us go back to the first question, to which all of you said that you don't like online classes at all. And during last 1.5 years, you have really learned new skills and you are proud of it, that you are sharing with us. Isn't it? You are proud of this. You are proud of your achievement. You are sharing with us. And you have learned these skills. And mind you, I am not talking about the knowledge. I am talking about the skills that is traditionally thought to be only by hands-on training. Now we have a nice group of youngsters who have really learned good skills when the society was closed, when there were no face-to-face classes, there was no scope for experimentation, there was no scope for hands-on training, and we are learning new skills, that is through YouTube. We have learned how to bake a nice cake, we have learned dance, we have learned what is that, aerobics or some sort of fitness training program. So many training programs have come up. Half of them are paid, some of them are unpaid. And YouTube, and I'm sure you would be posting some videos, or you would be on YouTube. So that is, and with this feedback that I gathered from my participants, I would like to contribute something on the topic. You see, it is not for the first time that we are facing this kind of dilemma or debate about whether the online classes are good or the face-to-face classes are good. Such kind of debate or dilemma takes place every time whenever there is a change. Decades ago, when some non-traditional subjects like agriculture, including what is taught in your college, nursing, and I can name other subjects also, there was a debate whether these things can be taught in the universities, or can they be taught as a traditional within the format, the contours of a traditional curriculum teaching, the way we teach purely academic subjects like physics or biology or languages or history. Can they be taught? Can agriculture be taught? Yes, that was the question. And today we have these subjects quite acceptable and quite accepted in the university system. So university system has its boundaries, disciplines. The word discipline. How can we distinguish a subject from a discipline? Because discipline has got a well-defined contours, well-defined boundaries that we cannot cross. So with these skills, this kind of concept work, then well, that was a debate, and it has been approved that yes, these subjects can not only be taught and learned, but they can very well be formed within the framework of the university system. So this kind of resistance or this kind of confusion or this kind of dilemma or this kind of debate is there whenever there is a change. And we have to accept that. We have to face that. The biggest challenge that we face today is that we have to face it in the most professional manner. Now, online teaching, there are no issues connected with that. Firstly, there is a usage of technology, definitely. Then learning is just not connected, as we have seen. It's not during your responses, that it is not connected just by transferring knowledge from somebody to a group of people called students in a closed setting. Learning is listening, it is speaking, it is reading, it is writing, and it is doing. Learning is a mixture of these 5-6 processes that our mind deals with. So in the closed setting, what was actually happening when there was a closed, this lecture method, and now I'm coming to the traditional lecture methods. Okay, one more question. You like the traditional method? You liked the lecture method? You liked the classes? You wanted to go to college? Yes. Not, oh, so much enthusiasm. You all wanted to go to college, right? But in the traditional lecture method, the responsibility of teaching or making the participants learn was with the teacher. Now, in the online classes, this responsibility is shared. This is what do I mean by that? And this is one point I want to make here. The responsibility is shared. Not that the teacher would be running away from the responsibility of making the students learn, but the point I want to make is that learning is a natural process. Learning is a natural process. Students, just by the very lecture method, of course, the knowledge was transferred, but there were several challenges in the classroom teaching too. Firstly, there was not that kind of meticulous delivery of content as it is online. My dear students, please understand this point very seriously. In the classroom teaching, there were some imperfections. There can be some imperfections, and as a human beings, we have to. There is no hesitation, and there should not be any hesitation in accepting that. There can be imperfections in dealing with the students. There can be imperfections in the delivery of content. I remember the feedback of one student in the online classes. एक टीचर थे, वो हमेशा बच्चों से बहुत डांट के बात करते। जब ऑनलाइन क्लासेस स्टार्ट की तो उन्होंने अपने बिहेवियर को थोड़ा सा ट्रांसफॉर्म करके, बिकॉज ऑनलाइन यू कैन नॉट बी दैट इम्पोलाइट. So students were, enthusiastic. Their students were happy about it. That look, now he is, अभी वो online तो डांटते नहीं हैं. That was the kind of reaction, and that was the kind of positive response that could be gathered from his online teaching. क्लास में कई बार बोलते बोलते हम कुछ ऐसा भी बोल जाते हैं जो क्लास में नहीं बोल सकते. But when it comes to online teaching, we have to be very meticulous, because something is being generated, the data is being generated, and once the data is generated online, it cannot be destroyed. That is one limitation that we are all aware of. Secondly, as we have the concept of ATM, anytime telling machine, this concept, this digital learning is an important concept that gives us the learning anytime, anywhere. Anytime, anywhere learning. It can happen from any location. Right now, I am sitting in Delhi. You are sitting in Tripura. Some of you might be sitting in their different location, and we are connecting, and there are no geographical limitations. So we should enjoy this kind of flexibility and this kind of convenience that this technology is giving us. Third important factor that I feel is that justifies and that makes our online teaching relevant and significant from the point of, and this is the point about the challenges of the 21st century. As I mentioned in the beginning, that the expectations from our learners have widened now. Their expectations are great, because our students will not only be surviving in a closed and parochial environment. they want to fly, they want to touch the sky, they want to go beyond the boundaries of our state or our country. They want to make name and fame everywhere. So for that, they should be able to inculcate in them the values and the learning objectives that the current education system demands. And so such values, I feel, are like, one is the critical thinking. It's not that you just listen to a lecture, take notes, with your full or half-hearted involvement, and you just reproduce them in the examination and you get marks. And so this kind of learning is not that is demanded in the 21st century. We have to have a critical thinking. We need to have a critical thinking, and it is not only on the social issues. It is also about the other aspects. It relates to your professional, it relates to your own individual being, and it relates to the society that we are living in. Another important point that I feel that our present generation should concentrate on is the communication. So we need to develop the communication skills. Just the knowledge of your own subject won't help you survive professionally. आप अच्छे पढ़ लिख के अपने सब्जेक्ट में एक्सपर्ट बन जाएंगे, बट यदि आपको पेशेंट्स से बात नहीं करना आएगा, यदि आप पेशेंट्स का साइकी समझ के उनके साथ एक रेपो एस्टेब्लिश नहीं कर पाएंगे, तो आप अपने आप को प्रोफेशनली यू वोंट बी एबल टू establish yourself well. जो लोग that जो US में काम करने के लिए जाते हैं, they have to qualify USMLE, and the toughest, or I would say the part of this examination is the how you deal with the patient, how you examine the patient, such kind of traits. They after testing your knowledge in part 1 and 2, in the third part they test your applied skills. And it is related not only with the medical or any technical field, it is also related to every field that we we would like to enter after completing our education. So relationship learning is important. Relationship building, how to build a rapport. आप MBA करके जाइए, कुछ भी करके जाइए. If you don't establish a rapport with the client or with the other stakeholder, you won't be able to justify your learning to the optimum level. So the point I want to make is that in the online or the digital system, it is the self-learning that is important. So if we don't learn, हमें जनरली कंप्लेंट होता था ना, एग्जाम में कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं आता था, हमारे पास सबसे अच्छा एक्सक्यूज होता था, टीचर ने नहीं कराया. हमें ये कोई भी दूसरी यूनिवर्सिटी में जाएंगे, हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी में तो ये पढ़ाया, सिलेबस वाज नॉट अ पार्ट ऑफ द सिलेबस. In this change scenario, that is an important responsibility that we have to understand, and that important challenge that we have to understand is that learning is a self-learning process now. And the biggest challenge before us is the learning to learn. We are learning to learn, and of which digital education, digital mode of this classroom is only a part of it. The online classes is not the only way of, or it's not the only component of online classes. There are other components also. Like after the delivery of lecture in online classes, we can take the feedback, and we can take the feedback instantly. We can also test the students, whatever they have gathered, by means of some sort of short quiz. The the score of which is easily available, instantly available to the learners, and in some cases even you can generate a certificate. There are several softwares like Certify-M. You can generate a certificate. You can repose it in some sort of the online bank where it would be safe and it can be retrieved from anywhere. So this system is the higher education system is changing, and we have to meet the requirements of this. Now, with this online teaching, we have to bring changes in our teaching methodology also. You must have heard the concept of flipped classroom. Flipped classroom. Flip means ulta karna. So flip mein teachers become the students and the students become the teacher. This helps in planning our lectures. We can share e-resources with our students, and we can plan our presentation in a way that when students would read the e-resources and make their own presentations, and that way this is learning not only by the resource person but also through our peer groups. So another point that I would like to make, not to the students but to ourselves, the teachers, because there are certain concerns that why we have not been able to create interest amongst the students, because we have just seen this contradiction that they learn from the YouTube, but why they don't why they don't find our classes, our online lectures interesting. And I have a couple of observations on that. Firstly, we need to acknowledge the fact that the span of attention online is not as much as it is offline. This is one. So our lectures should be short. Holding somebody's attention, for an hour or for an hour or more is really which cannot be expected. So holding individuals' attention when they are physically present is one thing, and without seeing each other, it is definitely not feasible to hold attention for a longer time. So for that, our lectures can be short, maybe module based, not that longish as we have it in the physical mode. Then our I'm sorry, I'm speaking to you without a PPT, because speaking without a PPT is really unprofessional. I didn't have time to prepare. There was so many commitments, so that is the reason. Otherwise, a PPT is a must. And PPT, there are certain norms that I observe. There should not be too many words. Otherwise, student will start reading the PPT instead of listening to you. So words should be minimal, main points. Now, in the PPT, which I learned, during last 2 years, because earlier we were not using that online, in the only in the face-to-face classes we used to do, but all the points should not be highlighted, in the same slide. Because if you are dealing with point number 2 and a student is reading point number 4 and not taking interest in your point number 2, so there is a complete disengagement of the participants. Then the creativity is required. Transforming your textbook on the PPT or some sort of presentation is not going to help. Some sort of creativity is required. The use of graphics, use of the sound, or the some special effects, some some sort of charts, would help us to make our presentation more engaging. I have observed Byju's classes. I know it's not advisable to name any particular learning software, but you can see the graphics of the Byju's classes, and you can compare them with the other software's lectures. Then then silence sometimes becomes counterproductive. We have to keep on speaking. If we are not speaking, then expecting participants to participate. And first, it is very important to establish a rapport with the participants. Like, I started by asking very simple questions, and students felt connected with this session. So it helps in in building up and in maintaining the rapport with the students, which is very crucial. It is not like in the classroom settings, we enter the class, students would stand up, wish good morning, and we just pick up the chalk and start writing on the board. It cannot happen in this. There are certain do's and don'ts we have to tell our participants that please don't open your mic or video or something like that. Some sort of instructions have to be given. So these kind of norms have to be passed on to the students. So while concluding, I would say, because it is not advisable to hold the participants for so long, I would like to conclude it by making 2-3 important points. Number one, we cannot escape the online classes. It is a part, and it is an integral part of our learning, which has been highlighted even in the new education policy by our Honorable Prime Minister. And there are clear instructions both to UGC and to the Ministry of Education that our courses have to be based on the blended learning. Even after, just don't feel that it is only a temporary arrangement during the lockdown and all. Even after the classes resume and classes resume in the offline mode, we will have to continue with this practice of online teaching, the digital learning. That is one, because otherwise we won't be able to survive at the international level. The expectations of our learners are different now, and we have to prepare them for the new challenges, professional challenges, the new sort of employment that is coming up. New employments, new professions, new careers, So we have to prepare them so that they can make their own world, not just, the traditional professions or the traditional role that we have been prescribing. Teaching is no longer a prescriptive profession now. It is not, अभी लेक्चर खत्म होता है बोलते हैं ना, समझ में आ गया क्या? अभी समझ में आना जरूरी नहीं है. हमें पूछना है, do you agree with that? If you don't agree, please come up, please think, please apply your mind, please have a critical thinking and come up with another model, another paradigm of learning. Thank you very much. And I once again congratulate TIPS for organizing a webinar on this important topic. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. It's really a privilege to listen you regarding today's topic, regarding these opportunities and challenges of online learning platform for higher studies. And it's really a honor to have you in this session. We have learned a lot regarding today's lecture, regarding what you have shared today with our faculties and students. So what we have understand, in my sense, it's really a challenge for us initially because we are not quite comfortable with this type of online teaching, because in our college days, even in our postgraduate studies, we cannot be habituated to this type of platform. And later in this COVID era, it became a new normal. So it is not only a challenges in the part of students, it's also being challenges in the part of teachers as well. So, but we have to explore different opportunities, what you have shared today with our students and with the teachers as well, that you have to innovate different methodology of teaching. Definitely, there are certain advantages also there, like flexibility. You can have a flexible hours of teaching. There's no compulsion is there. You can go teaching beyond boundaries, beyond the routine framework. So those are the advantages. And definitely what students are sharing, that they are find it quite boring because there's a lack of innovation. Because in the part of teachers, it definitely becoming quite new normal. We are still learning how to make innovative changes in the part of teaching as well, so that it become quite attractive. Like you have shared that PPT presentation or showing attractive videos regarding the lecture, and only the words has to be typed in the PPT presentation, which gather the focus of the students. I definitely think that the faculty members and the students will definitely explore these opportunities. And definitely in the post-COVID era, it became a new normal. Because we cannot know that how many waves are coming in part of COVID. So definitely sometime it become the offline class become feasible. Sometimes the offline class cannot be feasible. So we should be habituated to enter ourselves into these shoes as well. So many thanks to you, sir. Dr. Deepak Sharma, sir, Honorable Registrar, Tripura Central University, and really a privilege to have you in this session, sir. So switching over to our next session. So the next speaker of today's session is Dr. Santanu Ghosh, Associate Professor, Department of Psychiatry, Tripura Medical College, and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Teaching Hospital. So many welcome you to sir in today's session. So before I am delivering the mic to you, just a short introduction regarding sir. So Dr. Santanu Ghosh has been long associated with our college. Regarding a short introduction regarding Dr. Santanu Ghosh, he has done his MBBS in 2004-5 from Guwahati Medical College, Guwahati. He has passed MD from Psychiatry in 2011 from Assam Medical College, Dibrugarh, Assam. He is awarded PhD in the year 2020 in Psychology from Tripura University. Presently, he is working as Associate Professor in Department of Psychiatry at Tripura Medical College. He has worked as an operational trainer in Tripura for National Drug Use Survey in collaboration with AIIMS New Delhi and Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India. There are 14 publications so far regarding his name in national and international journals in the field of addiction and general psychiatry. Presently, he is doing fellowship in JSS Medical College, Mysore, and psychosexual medicine. So many welcome to you, sir, in this webinar session. And I just request you, sir, regarding, apart from sharing your thoughts regarding the today's topic regarding opportunity challenges of online platform of higher studies, I also like to request you, sir, that what we feel as a part of faculty members, that there are certain backlog in the mindset of students, that they are found it quite boring. What Dr. Deepak Sharma has shared with us, that there's a backlog, there's a mental blockage is there regarding online challenges, and many students get diverted. They're not attending online classes for many days, even going through their guardian meet, even while interacting with guardians, we found it very difficult to put them back to the online classes. So because we think that there are definitely some mental blockages there, some mental stigma is there in the part of students. So I highly request you to kindly explore these facts and figures, that how this mental blockage, how this psychological blockage can be overcome in the part of student, how can we carry out counseling. And now it is quite evident that due to many lockdowns since last year, this year also, due to many lockdowns, students are taking adverse steps. So many things has been reported in different part of the country. We are also experiencing many things. So I definitely also request you to explore this scenario, that how this mental block or how this mental social blockage in the part of students can be broken, so that we can have a good interaction with the students and they being a part of this online session, not only in these days, in the post-COVID era as well. So over to you, sir.
Namaskar. Good afternoon. I am very privileged that on this auspicious occasion of the Foundation Day of Tips, I am being invited to be a guest speaker on this very relevant topic in the new normal situation in the days of pandemic. When I was being a few days back, Shubhra Babu called me, and he has given me the topic that the challenges and the disadvantages or the motivating factors for influencing our students towards this online platform. Now, suddenly the thought came to my mind that I'm a teacher, at the same time I'm a student somewhere else. So in such a perspective, when I can think from a teacher point of view and at the same time from a student point of view, where lies the lacuna, where lies the fault, and whose fault is this, and why you are not able to incorporate the new normal. As from last 1.5 years, it's a new system, or it's a new thing only, and we do not have any other opportunity apart from that. So why we are not able to convince our students to motivate towards this teaching process? So so keeping these things in my mind, I thought, let us discuss something, how to motivate the students. Rightly Swarup Babu said, I should discuss on the motivating factors. In the days of pandemic, every nowadays, almost every alternate day, we are getting invitation for different webinar or different CMEs. But at a certain period, initial days, we used to enjoy this. But after a few months, these things, it's really it becomes boring, or we are not at all ready to indulge in this sort of learning. Now, how far it is possible from an education point of view, where learning is the only mandatory, only important thing, or only the motto of an institution. So let me discuss all these things. My previous speaker, Honorable Registrar sir, correctly mentioned that the textbook shouldn't be in the PowerPoint slides. Even though I'm trying my level best, let me share my slides. Am I audible? Shurbo, I am
yes, sir.
audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely audible, sir. Absolutely, sir.
Let me share my screen.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think so. The caption of my presentation is motivation of students for e-learning. I'll be discussing where the students faces while appearing in a online class, and what are the methods we can adopt as a teacher to motivate the students to present in each and every class, and not only present but also participate in this learning process. Because I believe that learning is a two-way communication, two-way system. It's not that in a conventional class, what happens if I go on speaking and the students, they're busy in their online their activities, ultimately end of the day no fruitful events comes out. And in the platform of e-learning, this has become more problematic. Suppose I am so boring, my teaching is so monotonous. In the offline classes, the students who are sitting in the last benches, or the posterior bench students, they are indulging in social networking or activities in the mobile phone. So if it is if my teaching is so monotonous, they are indulging in all those sort of things, and this is more easily done in case of online classes, because eye-to-eye contact is not really possible for a teacher to keep an eye on every student. But in offline class, this is quite possible. So I will be talking on the motivation. few lines on the introduction. The increase of COVID-19 coverage and impact has abolished the teaching and learning process in class. These are some bookish things or these lines from the literature. I am not going to read all these things, but not in a nutshell, these lines says that in a new normal position, we need to incorporate the skill to learn something from online platform. Our registrars are very nicely said that yes, nowadays YouTube is a good platform to learn many things in almost every sphere of life. Even I too learn many things, starting from EEG and different things, different clinical things I've learned from YouTube. Also cooking also sometimes I learn from YouTube. So if we can learn from YouTube, why we are not ready to learn from the online class from our own teachers? So we should discuss on that. Now, coming to definition of motivation, what is, we are uttering this word from last few minutes, but what does exactly this motivation is? Motivation is defined as a willingness to exert high level of effort towards organizational goal. In your case, students, in your case, what is your organization goal? You, being a student of tips, you want to pass your exam with flying colors and thereafter have a good placement in your professional field. That is your organizational goal, and which is being conditioned. That means you are imparting that behavior to reach your organizational goal. You are giving efforts and ability to satisfy some individual needs. What's your individual need? Your organizational is overall the goal, and your individual needs your desire. And this is very beautiful definition. In other words, it is a condition that is initiated by physiological or psychological deficiency. What? Suppose I am hungry at this moment, or I am very much thirsty. What is my need? Physiological or psychological need? I need to have food, or I need to have water. So there will be vacuum, or there will be deficiency, which causes the individual to behave in certain manner. So I am hungry. What I'll do? I'll eat food. I'll eat rice. I'm thirsty, that's why I'll drink water. In your case, you are student, your thrust should be that towards your learning. You want to learn and thereby passing the exam with good flying colors and ultimately have a good placement, which causes the individual to behave in a certain manner. In which way you students will behave? You will properly attend your class and you will have a continuous process of learning and learn out of those classes to achieve a particular goal or incentive. What is the incentive? The result or the scorecard is your incentive, and ultimately what will be the final incentive? Your placement. Now, what are the elements of motivation? First, there should be a need. What is need? It is the psychological or the physical deficiency. Just now I have given example that I am thirsty or I am hungry. So what is the deficiency at this moment? I need food or I need water. Students, in your case, what you need? You need learning. You need to learn. You need directions of your teachers so that you can learn something. Now, individual behaves in certain manner. Suppose while learning, there should be drive. That means you have the desire to learn. If you do not have the desire, your teacher won't be able to teach you, because you are the person who will grab the knowledge. Registrar sir correctly said that this is a era of self-learning. It's not that if you the teacher will teach you A for apple, B for book. Now you have grown enough, because you are in a higher study mode, and most of the things as of today you have to have the self-learning approach. Next, which ultimately, if you have the proper drive or desire, ultimately you will get the incentive. What is the incentives? That is you achieve a particular goal. In your student in your case, your goal is to passing the exam with flying colors and thereby get a good placement. Now, I'll explain each and every one. What is need? Just now I said that suppose thirst or if you are thirsty or if you are hungry, you need food or water. That is a need. That means the deficiency you are having at that particular time. What is the drive? It's a psychological drive, which is a condition which causes a person to work in a particular direction. If my desire is to score good marks, what I'll have to do? I will attend each and every class. Not only attend, I will participate in the teaching process. I will exchange my thoughts with my teachers, with my fellow mates, so that end of the day, I learn few new information. End of the course, I'll have my degree. That degree is the incentive. That is anything that mitigate the drive and decrease the intensity of the drive. What was the drive? We need to have a degree or a profession. Tips is providing professional course. That's why the incentive will be the professional certificates or which is the gateway to your professional field. Now, motivation results from interaction between both conscious and unconscious factors. What is the conscious thing? Conscious means knowingly which you are doing. Unconscious, which comprises the main chunk of our mind, unknowingly what you are doing. That is which this motivation will depend on intensity of desire or need. Suppose if I am too hungry at this moment, I will try to gather or I will try to eat food by hook or crook. So if the intensity or desire to gather knowledge is more, then I will try to acquire that by any means. Then incentive or reward value of the goal. Suppose if you know that if I cross the exam or if I good placement, my future is secured. So if the incentive or reward, that means the future placement is definite, or if you are going to get good outcome, then the students will get motivated, will be motivated and of his or her peers. Now, as a student, what I want to pass with 80% mark, or if I want to pass with 50% mark. So depending on the desire or my individual desire, I'll motivate. More the motivation, more will be the marks. So educational psychology says this motivation, there are two types of motivation. One is extrinsic motivation factors, external factors, and another intrinsic motivation or the internal factors. Now, what motivation to perform, you want to pass with 80% mark. So that is your extrinsic things. That if you pass the exam, you will get good job. So that is your motivation factor. The goal is the motivational force. External motivation comes from influence outside of the individual. Common extrinsic motivations are reward and threat of punishment. Suppose if I am not participating or if I am not attending class, if I do not have my good attendance, I won't be able to sit for the final exam. So if I am not able to sit for the final exam, I won't pass. So that the fear of punishment is also again extrinsic motivation. Not what is intrinsic motivation? My mind. Yes, as a student, I must know this topic. I must know this theory so that I can apply on my patient, on my client. So this force comes from inside. Nobody forces you learning, but you yourself want to learn. Suppose
just to interrupt, sir. Sir, just to interrupt, the slide is not at all changing and it is not in the full screen mode. So I think it will be better if you put in full screen mode and the slide is not at all changing. Yes, sir. And
here everything is.
Oh, but it is not visible, sir. Yeah.
Is it visible?
Yeah. Yeah, now it's.
Now again it has gone, probably.
Yeah, it's gone, sir. It's gone.
My
Again,
to ঠিক করে দাও মা।
second one.
দাঁড়া যাচ্ছে না দাঁড়া। In this aspect, my daughter is more expert than me.
Yes, absolutely. They're the new generation, so they are quite comfortable with this.
Window.
কোথায় আছে?
দাঁড়া। Please.
শেয়ার করবো কিভাবে?
Just put the presentation button on, sir. It is on the down part of the screen.
You're sharing our WhatsApp screen.
Yeah. Just put the presentation part.
এবার শেয়ার করো। এবার তুমি এটা দেখো। You're presenting. ছাড়ো।
So just select the screen. Yeah.
Is it? Is my screen visible?
Not yet, sir. Just a minute, sir. Not yet. No, sir. It's not coming.
Stop presenting.
Yeah, it's not coming again. Just to put on the presenting part, sir.
What app is this?
Is it visible now?
Just a minute, sir. It's coming. Yeah. So kindly put it into the slideshow mode.
Yes. It's now in slideshow mode.
Yeah. But the slideshow is not coming. Okay, sir, please continue. I think there's some technical error is there. Please continue, sir.
So what I was saying, that the intrinsic motivation, that means it my inner urge to learn the thing. Suppose in the initial days where this e-learning comes into play, what is this learning app like Google Meet or Google Classroom or all these things. Initial days we are not at all acquainted, or we are not at all habituated to learn this. But just now, a few minutes back, my daughter came and she helped me, because she daily she attends 2 or 3 classes online. So in this platform, she's more knowledgeable than me. That's why she jumped and try to help me. So this is the intrinsic thing. From inside, I want to learn that thing. There lies the intrinsic motivation. Swarup Babu, is it in the full screen mode? In my computer, it is in the full screen mode.
No, sir, it's not. Still, it's not coming. It is still in the PPT mode. Not an issue, sir. I think there is some technical fault is there, so therefore it is not coming in the full screen mode. You continue, sir, because there is.
Now,
I think, yeah.
Okay, sir. I think the slides are changing.
Yes, the slide is changing, sir. The slide is changing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'll be discussing few factors which can be a hindrance in attending classes for student point of view. Just few minutes back, I said that I am a student, at the same time I am a teacher. So in the midway, I can have both the perspectives. So what may be the demotivating factor for online classes? First point is the social disconnect. We have seen that from last 18 months, students are restricted in their homes with no friends and social interaction. Only virtual interaction. So the sudden change has brought a change in personality of students of all age groups. It's applicable to primary class students. It is applicable to higher secondary students. It is applicable to university students. This sudden change, the inputs are different. So ultimately, their attitude, their way of thinking, their reflection, everything has changed. They barely concentrate on their assignments and online classes because daily non-contact with the teachers and the peer groups, these things becomes monotonous thing. Few internet issues like internet facilities in developing countries like India is very poor. At this moment, I am using 3 types of internet connection because if today's one system is given a good result, tomorrow it becomes blunt or it may not be working. So I am depending on 2 or 3 types of internet providers. So in although I am sitting in a city, I am using 3 types of connection. So you can imagine what happens in the remotest place of this state. Rural areas still have either no internet connectivity regularly to participate in academic activities. We must have a stable, good quality internet corner of the most rural part of our state. And classes, device issue. What is that? If the student has other siblings taking online classes separate, did not afford that. If the parents are also working, managing work from home is another problem to arrange the device. Because suppose I'm working and my wife is working and we are from home, we are continuing our service. At the same time, I'm having 2 children and they're also attending class. Again, so managing device for all those 4 persons are really difficult. It's not easy to learn every subject through small screen of mobile phone. Small device poses another challenge to the child's and also to the parents. Lack of technical knowledge. Just few seconds back, you have seen that poor technical knowledge can mess the show. The problems of online classes in India are the students, especially the young children and those living in the interior parts of the country, do not have a technical knowledge to operate the device to join the online class. Even a technically knowledgeable person like me also sometimes mess up the show. Just now you have seen. To log into the online class itself is a monumental and difficult task for those people who are not at all a small but ignorantly passed buttons may make them leave the class. Many times it happens that bandwidth, there is a connectivity issue and the students has to leave the class. Then thereafter, even they also want to join also, then he or she faces many more problems. Certain operational issues also create disruptions like low bandwidth, more screen timing. Continuous online class followed by online assignment and project increases screen timing. This stresses the eye and the mind as well. Many times we get patients with a headache. Ophthalmologist refers this case to us, thinking it to be stress induced. So on detailed evaluation, we found that it's the enhanced screen time which is causing headache. It is difficult for the teachers to maintain the on-screen attention span of the student. A few minutes back, my previous speaker said that attention span cannot be sustained for more than an hour. The researcher says we can sustain our attention for 4 minutes to 5 minutes. So we cannot sustain our attention for longer time over the screen. They easily get distracted and diverted to other sites of their interest like Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp. So even on even they are on class, at the same time they are chatting with their friends. It is a very usual phenomena. Few background disturbances, like one of the biggest hurdle of online learning is a continuous background disturbance at home. Knocking at the door, frequent visitors, pets movement, conversation of family members are genuine reasons for distraction from studies. It's a very practical problem. Frequent temptation to eat. I am studying and I am hungry. I am going to the kitchen and I am taking a bite of biscuit. Frequent temptation to eat. I find that this is a problem in my case. Or to take breaks during study time are also obstacle during virtual class. These are all demotivating factors which makes the student, which sends the students away from online class. Peer disturbances. So while online class is progressing, some students indulge in personal chat with other students. It is a very, very common phenomenon. Some students disturb the teacher with irrelevant questions and behavior. It shifts the focus of the teacher from other students. So if a single student is uttering or creating disturbance, definitely the teacher will put his interest on that or try to intervene in that situation. In doing so, you will lost connection with the topic. Also, you lost connect with the other students. Then inefficient online classroom management of teachers, because as it is a new system, we as a teacher, it's a very new things for us also. So how to modulate properly or how to do justification with that particular topic as well as the students, it is very difficult. Excessive family time. Due to lockdown, the students have to be with the parents for 24/7 at home. Anything which is in excess defeats the real essence. The parents fail to give quality time to their kids. Pandemic stress. I'm not going to read all these things. COVID-19, its outcome, the disease process, how all these things we are very much preoccupied with different informations. Our students also, the same thing goes with our students also. And this stress are also demotivating factors for the students to attend online class daily. Now, how to motivate students? Till now, I have discussed what makes a student sends away from the online class. Now, I'll try to speak on the topic which, as a teacher, we should incorporate in our teaching methodology so that our students get attracted to our teaching. See, a topic may be a boring topic, but as a teacher, it's our duty to make it a palatable thing. Suppose, suppose I'm giving one example. When I was a student, permutation combination, infinite series, binomial theorem, these are very horrible things for me as of today now also, because probably that time my teacher put interest, or probably they were failed to teach me the art to know these topics. So today also, whenever I try to remember or try to learn these things, I get afraid. Probably that is the reason why I am doctor today. I am not engineer. Those binomial theorem, infinite series, permutation combination. Charu Babu, am I audible?
Yes,
Hello?
sir, you're audible, sir. You're audible, sir. The slide is not changing, sir. The slide is not at all changing.
Probably
Yes,
it is
sir.
due to bandwidth. Probably
Yeah, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
probably.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Fine, sir. You continue, sir. Please continue, sir.
Again, it's a demotivating factor, isn't it?
Yeah. No, sir, it's okay, sir. Technical error is there. You continue, sir. Please continue.
So building student motivation requires commitment to the part of teacher. Yes, we are as a teacher, we should incorporate few things so that they get the essence of beautiful things in the class. Make it real. We shouldn't say anything, any rocket science, if we discuss any rocket science, any tough things, the students is not going to show their interest on the class. So we should discuss in such a way so that they really it's a beneficial for them to learn. Suppose we should find those topics definitely within the purview of the syllabus which can enhance, which are there depending on the intrinsic motivation. Suppose social, how to write on the social networking, they easily learn this because they get pleasure in doing that. Now as a teacher, we should create pleasure in the learning. If the learning makes us pleasurable things, the intrinsic motivation will grow. So learning should be practical. Help students to find personal meaning and value in the material. Strategies include live models, videos, or simulators. Suppose in the class you give a virtual situation. You are as a professional, suppose a BPT students. A patient comes with a back pain. So why he should learn psychology? Why he should learn motivation? A few of the slides are from my class when I used to teach in the BPT students in tips. So few slides are from those classes. So why a physiotherapy student will learn psychology? Because as a teacher, I must make them understand that every pain has a psychic aspect. With the pain, the patient might go into depression. So if a professional, if he is not able to grasp that psychological status of the mind, he won't be a successful pain reliever. So to have, because there's a saying that when mind doesn't know, eyes do not see. So as a professional, his mind, he should grab that, pick that particular patient has depression. If he is not able to grab that, the patient will not get benefited. And once he grab that, he refers the patient. Ultimately, the patient gets a good result, and thereby his professional aptitude also increased. Provide choice. Registrar correctly said, while decorating or while planning about the classes or while planning about the slides, we should discuss our students, or the student must be incorporated in selecting the topics for discussion for our class, as because you all people are from higher classes. Fine tune the challenge. Like we are mostly motivated to learn when the task before us is matched to our level of skill. Not so easy as to be boring, and not so hard as to be frustrating or unattainable. Just now I said that we shouldn't discuss rocket science in this platform, because the students will lose their interest very, very easily. Deliberately fashion the learning experience so that students are working at the very edge of their abilities. If the topic is very interesting, they'll incorporate in the study, in the teaching process, in the two-way teaching process. Encourage students to build their personal base. Suppose last year your score was this much, so you have to compete yourself so that in the next year you get more marks. In that way, you will enhance your speed, you will enhance your accuracy. That is our organizational goal. Avoid creating intense competition among students. Seek role model. If students can identify the role model, suppose many times while teaching, we gave example of our ex-president APJ Abdul Kalam. So they are the role models of our teaching. They have shown the new horizon or new paradigm for learning. So this type of role model help us in motivating the students, establish a sense of belonging. Now, whatever task is being given to the students, make them feel that you are the part of this project and your opinion or your contribution is mandatory for that thing. So make them feel that whatever project is being given to them, it's their belongings or they're the part of this. Effective teaching. When the teaching becomes effective, suppose a few minutes back, Registrar said that quizzing or simulating situation will enhance the effective teaching. Adopt a supportive style, not that every time I am arguing or I am criticizing my students. Also, as a teacher, I must have a supportive attitude toward my student. Why lies their problems? Why they are not able to learn? Why they are not able to put their interest on the topic? So we should have a proper discussion. Again, we should add quiz. Assessment is very needed, and at the same time, in offline mode, we are getting a response from our students that whether they are liking my class or not. But in online mode, we need to ask for the feedback, because according to feedback, we can modulate our teaching. Suppose I am discussing a topic and my students are not at all happy with the topic. So what, according to the feedback, will alter our teaching. We should strategize with struggling students. Now, each and every student, where just few minutes back I also said that where the what are the problems or disturbing factors why the students are not able to put their interest on this topic. So there should be a specific strategy for the failure patient. So